What's up, dudes? Chooch back with another one. Today we're going to be going on a brand new ride in a brand new place, and we're going to be checking out some various beautiful locations and just going for a good solid cruise right now, man. We're on the veteran Sherman out here cruising around, and to my left over here is Carter Lake. Got some people out there ripping around on the jet skis out there. Now this right here is a man-made reservoir you're seeing. This was built in 1950s in northern Colorado. I'm up here in northern Colorado, like I said, basically from where I'm at right here in this video, I'm about 1 hour driving distance away from Cheyenne, Wyoming. So this is getting, a lot further up, about an hour and 20 minutes north of Denver is where I'm at right here. And this is kind of the country of Colorado. So if you're not in the mountains, this is kind of the country of northern Colorado before you get up to like Cheyenne and all that stuff. And the mountains over in this area are just a little bit smaller. You do have Long's Peak, which is a 14,000 foot mountain in the area, but all the mountains are a lot, I'd say they're just not as tall as like when you're closer to Denver and such. There's just not many ski resorts over like in northern Colorado, and it's just like once you're in the mountains, it's kind of rolling like this, like rolling mountains, kind of like what you'd find in a lot of parts of California. Like this area really reminds me of California right here, just the way it looks. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But anyways, this reservoir that I'm riding around, it's called Carter Lake, but it's actually a man-made reservoir. And they built it in the 1950s, and they ended up just putting 4 dams up. And it's kind of just like a mountain valley. And they put 4 dams up, and now you can boat on it and fish. And during the summertime, man, this place is absolutely packed. So if you can, if you think that Colorado does not have like a boating culture, or like, nobody goes skiing behind a boat in Colorado, do you think that people just only go snow skiing? You're wrong, man, because when I came here the first time, I was absolutely blown away with the amount of boating activity out here. I mean, it was seriously crazy. Like they have in this lake right here, like right now it's not very populated, but like I was up here on Labor Day, and dude, it looked like the entire lake up here was completely packed with boats, and they have to like drive in a counterclockwise way around the lake because of how packed it gets on some days. So like they're all you just see all the boats flowing in like one direction going around. It actually works. It's coming from, I used to live near Lake Murray down in South Carolina, and that lake is huge compared to this one, but still, it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. But anyways, cruising on the veteran Sherman right now, and I'm going to be going up to Pinewood Reservoir. So let's cruise from right here, and we're going to go all the way around up the mountains up to Pinewood Reservoir. And pretty much the route that I'm going to be taking is you would be able to take it all the way to Estes Park, Colorado. So right now I'm kind of in Berthoud, Colorado, and the route I'm taking, it looks like you should be able to ride all the way to Estes Park. Now, I looked at it on the map one day, and I came up here and I tried to go all the way on the route that I'm taking, and there's actually a private road you get to. So after I get up to the next reservoir called Pinewood Reservoir, everything after that is just private road. And I thought that you could easily link, from where I'm at here, if you just keep following this road around on Google Maps, it looks like you can take it straight to Estes Park. But you can't do it. All those houses up there, I guess they all pitch in, and that's one big thing that you'll notice in Colorado, especially once you get up in like northern Colorado. There's a lot of private roads, and a lot of these roads are well maintained, so it's deceiving. Like that road was completely paved, like a nice looking road, but it is private, and you really cannot go on those roads, man. Like seriously, be careful with that, guys. If you're riding these things, and you do see anything that says like private road or anything like that, that's legit private property, and you cannot ride on that. And you just have to respect that, because like if you worked your butt off and you paid for a house on that private road, you would want it to be private, you know. You just wouldn't want anybody coming down it, whether it be on a unicycle, whether it be on an ATV, a four-wheeler. And it does suck, but that's just something you got to respect in America, and I respect it. So once I saw that I couldn't take that road anymore, I turned around and just ended up coming back. But it was a great ride, guys. One thing that I am noticing right now is that, man, the days are just getting so much shorter. Like as we're getting into the winter months coming up, it's crazy, man, how fast the sun sets. Like I left my house whenever it was just bright outside. Usually I would have like 2.5 hours to go ride, and it just got dark really quick, man. Like it's crazy how fast that sun sets now, like this time of year. See over here to my left, that's the Carter Lake Marina. It's actually quite a big lake. You see that? Like for a man-made lake in Colorado, it's pretty big. But the veteran Sherman, this wheel that I'm on right here has been phenomenal, man. And it's because I've just used it for rides like this. Whenever I want to go out and just do a cruise that's would be taxing on any other wheel, and by me mean like taxing, like if I tried to go do this same cruise right here on like the V12 High Torque, that's just, the wheel's not made for stuff like this. Like I like having multiple wheels, because whenever I choose to go on a ride like this is the like perfect wheel for it. The veteran Sherman, or the Sherman Max that's out right now, is just perfect for cruising like this. If you just want to go out and just go long range cruising, have a ton of stability while you're riding, and never worry about your range, and be able to really go fast and be really stable while going fast, you can't beat the Sherman Max or the veteran Sherman platform. I would definitely have bought a Sherman Max by now. Like say if this wheel had given me any problems at all, like if I would have crashed this thing, KO'd it, any problems with this wheel, and I would have definitely bought a Sherman Max by now. Simply because I really think, you need two wheels. I think you need, if you want to get into this hobby and you want to really have the complete package, you need one fun, lightweight trail riding wheel, like the InMotion V12 High Torque. You have to have one of those, and I would start with that for sure, because you can have way more fun and do a lot more with it, as opposed to what I'm doing right here. Like this is just for cruising, just for long range stable riding right here. With the V12 High Torque, you could pretty much do what I'm doing right here, but you could also have fun on trails. You could hit jumps with it. You could just whip it around. It's like half the weight, like half the price. Like seriously, guys, start there. But if you want to get the total package when it comes to electric unicycles, what I would do is get something like the veteran Sherman Max, or just the Sherman Max they call it now. That way, if you have a buddy that wants to go on a long range ride, or if you just want to go out and cruise, you know, go like an adventure ride type deal, or either go a long way one day, hop on that thing and just cruise. The ride on it is going to be so nice. I mean, so stable and just elegant, compared to like a lighter weight wheel like the V12 or something like that. This is what you're going to want for just long range cruising like this. Now, it's good to have both wheels, guys. It's good to have two wheels, because if you want to go trail riding and you have a bunch of buddies that want to go to the jump park, or if you yourself just wants to go out and rip some trails, hit some jumps, do some technical type stuff, this wheel right here is just not for that, guys. It's just way too heavy, way too bulky, way too expensive to be, you know, out there doing tricks on jumping and, you know, neglecting. the reason this wheel has held up so well for me for 2.5 years now since I got it is simply because this is the way I use it. I have all those other wheels that cost half the price of this one, that I can take to the jump park, that I can ride on trails, that I can really just abuse and tear up. And then I can keep this one in nice working condition, and I can only use it for rides like this. And if you only use your Veteran Max or whatever wheel you get, like if you get a long range wheel that's heavy, that has a lot of battery power in it, I recommend doing that. I recommend keeping it just for that. And then having, you know, your other wheels or other wheel to do, you know, your technical riding and whatnot. But a good starting point, like I've been upselling it so much, is like the V12 High Torque. Don't think you need to go in and spend, you know, the $3,800 that this thing costs to get into the hobby. Because I know, like, if I was just looking from the outside at this hobby or whatever, and I saw the Veteran Sherman on it, you know, or the Sherman Max, and I saw the price point, I saw how fast it went, how far it went, it would be really intriguing to just go with that. And I wouldn't really, and a lot of people just don't know what they're getting into, and then they don't know what they're missing. So if they just buy this right off the bat, they don't really understand how much they're missing in other wheels. I mean, really, you may like a suspension wheel, you may like a 16-inch wheel, you may like something different, but if you spend all your money just getting a Veteran Sherman or Sherman Max right out the gate, of course you're going to love it. Of course you'll find a way to use it, a way to have a blast with it, but I think you will get a kind of misconception as to why electric unicycles are so much fun in the first place, and all the different things you can do with it. This is a beastly wheel right here, guys. I mean, you see it. Like, it's huge compared to a lot of the other wheels that I ride. And you see how this wouldn't be fun to be doing technical stuff with, where you're trying to spin around and jump off curbs and all that type of stuff. It's just not made for that. But once you get it on the road, and you get this thing over 30 miles an hour, and you know that 30 to 50 miles an hour cruising speed right there, that, you know, that 20 mile an hour window when you're just on the road, and you can go from 30 up to 50 and then back down to 50 to 30, and it's just super smooth and stable, and you can go 85 plus miles of doing that. With the Sherman Max, guys, you can do it, you can ride it as hard as you want to, as fast as you want to, for like 95 miles straight up, which is incredible. And that wheel right now, guys, the Sherman Max, if you want to get that wheel, it's sold out currently on eWheels, but there's a new shipment coming in that's going to be here in late September. And every single time the Sherman Max is coming around, they sell out instantly. So if you want to get a Sherman Max, go ahead and place your pre-order for it now. The way the pre-order works for the Sherman Max is you place a $1,000 pre-order, and then as soon as it lands, so you'd put your pre-order in right now, $1,000 would come out of your bank account, and then as soon as this thing lands in the United States at the LA port, they will send you an update that says, hey, the wheel is in. You send over the remaining $2,800, and then they ship your wheel out from eWheels. So that's the way the pre-order works for this thing. So it's not going to be, I kind of like that whenever I do it, because even for me, like if I pre-order a wheel or anything like that, like whenever I actually bought this wheel right here, the one I'm riding. I didn't get this thing for free or anything like that. I actually bought this thing, and so whenever I bought this thing like 2 years ago, I did the same thing. I put in the $1,000 pre-order, and it's really nice because whenever it does land and you have to go to purchase this thing, it's just not like $3,800 straight up. I like how it's kind of spread out a little bit. It's almost like, yeah, you're paying for it in full, but it's like you're financing it yourself a little bit just by not paying it all at one time. So the pre-order thing is actually really nice, and it just takes away that hit of like just dropping like 3,800 bucks on this thing instantly, you know. So you're spreading it out, $1,000 here, and then 2,800 whenever it lands. And I think this is an awesome wheel, man. It doesn't have suspension, so don't go jumping it. Don't go hitting curbs with it, everything like that. This is what the Sherman Max is made for. And if you have, like, dude, this thing right here is going around. So I have a little Honda Grom, which is a 125cc motorcycle. And this Sherman Max goes up this road right here faster than the Honda Grom, by far. The Honda Grom seriously struggles going up this road, guys. That is and the Grom is just a fun play around motorcycle. It's almost like a moped essentially. But dude, the Sherman Max is eating this hill right here, and it has torque on demand. Like, this is not like a gasoline engine going up these hills. It's seriously crazy the amount of torque you get, and it's so with the gasoline engine and stuff too, your altitude affects your performance. And in the mountains, if you don't have your carburetor tuned right, or if you don't have your fuel injection ratio exactly right on your motorcycle, when you're going up into the mountains, guys, your performance will change in your engine. So like when we used to race dirt bikes, you had to tune your carburetor. We had a race every year in GNCC. We'd race it up at Snowshoe in West Virginia. They'd shut down the entire ski slopes up there, and we would race dirt bikes up there. But whenever you went, if you were running the exact same settings on your carburetor that you're running at sea level, your performance would just nosedive up there. And that's one thing I seriously notice all the time on my motorcycle whenever I'm climbing into the mountains or climbing up into altitude. But with an electric motor, like these electric unicycles right here, that's one thing that just never changes. So, you know, I love gasoline engines still. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh yeah, all electric cars or whatever it may be. Like, I'm just saying that, like, this machine right here in particular is nice for going into the mountains because your performance, it just is consistent. And I even left, guys, whenever I left out on this ride, this was a fairly long ride, and the Sherman was not even fully charged. Like, I literally left out, and there's not many other wheels where I would go out on a long ride and not have it fully topped off. And I usually always charge my wheels to full whenever I get back, but it was just this time where the Sherman was like at half charge, and I was like, oh, whatever, it'll be good. And it was. I didn't notice it being like sluggish. I didn't notice, you know, performance being bad, no speed throttling or anything like that, just because you have so much battery power to work with, like on the Sherman. And the reason that these machines right here are so expensive is just because the amount of batteries that are packed into it, guys. It just comes down to that. There's like literally twice as much plus more cells in one of these than an electric unicycle like the InMotion V12 High Torque. So that's literally why you're paying, like, that's why it's more expensive. And I think that like if you wanted to have the total package with electric unicycles and be able to ride anything out there, I would either have like the veteran Sherman and the V12 High Torque, or either like the Commander and maybe like a Master, or like, let's see, a Monster Pro and maybe like an S22. You see what I'm saying? So you really can have the best of both worlds. So you're not going to be tempted if you only have one nice $4,000 wheel. You would be tempted to try to do everything on it. And I'm saying that's not the best way to do things. It's better to have other electric unicycles too.